Hello and welcome to my Wizardry Variantsdaphne guide on how to speedrun the Lamp of Malice event. Now you can speedrun this event in about 1 to 2 hours depending on how strong your party is. The event ends at 4 PM Central European Time and 10 AM New York time, so there's still plenty of time to finish the event and try farming some of the shards for the exchange. Now in this event, the main thing that you can use shards to exchange for in the jeweler's shop is the skill books. The skill books, if you get all 4 of them, allow you to level up any skill or spell up by 1 level. Secondly, you can also get 3 adventurer's bones that you can use on the general banner, but not the time limited banners, and you can also get helms of malice. Now the helmets are supposed to prevent one-shot kills, like the undead archers of doom killing you in the mausoleum. However, according to reports of various users, they don't work as intended, or rather they don't work all the time. So apparently somebody got one shot by the Vorpal bunnies despite it preventing insta-kills. So personally, and according to other game review sites, people say that you shouldn't put your top priority in getting the helmets, but the best thing to buy are the 4 skill books, or 5 of them if you have time enough to spare to get all the shards, and then buy the bones and then get a helmet or 2, since they do work, but they don't work all the time. But they still will get useful for farming in the mausoleum, preventing one-shots to the main character, so I would get 1 or 2 of the helmets. Now in order to start the event, you need to have finished the beginner abyss. Now if you don't want to get spoiled and you still haven't finished it, then don't watch the rest of the video, or rather this little bit, as I will tell you how to activate the event. Now if you actually have finished the abyss, which does take about 20 to 40 hours depending on how fast you are, then all you have to do is just get back to the 4th floor of the beginner abyss and go to the vine trap area and then follow Luluna's advice. And once you've done that and you've gone back to the city, go to the ruins and then keep clicking on the various dialogue options under the cursed wheel until you've unlocked the option to actually use it. And then just go back to the city, go back to the map selection and then re-enter the city. Now you should get a cutscene where you will see villagers talking about undead plaguing the lands, and when you go into the Adventurers Guild you will get a new request. And if you pick up the Necromancer's request, you will get a new location on your map that will show you the Cave of Malice. So just go to your map, go to the Cave of Malice, and when you're inside you can get the quest started. So here is a quick guide on how to do the whole quest very quickly. If you follow this map, just make a beehive straight for the entrance to the next floor, then the next one, until you've reached the 4th floor. Now just be careful when you enter the 3rd floor, because right inside it will be a scorpion lady, so you can go around her or you can fight her. On the way down, make sure to activate all of the Harkens you meet as usual, and whenever you see an event saying something like, oh, you've seen a shard, or you've seen the dead bodies of small tiny animals, you may mark them on your map, but all these locations will be needed for a quest later, and all of them will be on the map I will show you right now, so you don't really have to mark them. So once you reach the 4th floor, you will see 4 altars, or these candlesticks as they're called in game, but it's basically like an altar with a bowl that you can light a fire in, and they will give you 4 quests. Now the 4 quests are to find 3 frog tongues, 4 rat teeth, 4 lizard tails and 3 bat wings. So now you have to backtrack to find the 4 quest items. Now the lizard tail and the rat teeth will be on the 3rd floor in these locations, so all you have to do is go and collect them, and then you have to head to the 2nd floor to get the bat wings and the frog tongues. Now just be careful, apparently when you enter the room to get the bat wings, the doors will lock, and inside there will be a monster right in the middle that will act as a secret lever that will open the door when you defeat them. Now when I personally went inside this room, I killed all of the monsters, so I didn't even notice, but the guide says that apparently this happens. So because you have about 4 monsters roaming inside the room, just be sure that you have all your MP and SP when you go in, so you don't actually get killed. Now when you found all of those items, just make way back to the candlesticks and then click on each of the altars again to activate them. When you've done that, you'll see that the doors that have been previously locked are open now. So just head straight through and then head to the top right here where you will find the boss. Now when you finish fighting the boss, just go north, down the stairs, and then read all of the 3 journals to acquire knowledge that you'll need later. Now, just as a word of caution, after you're done fighting the boss, new ads will spawn in the entire area and there will be a difficulty spike. So make sure to either have one of the hooks of Harken on your person, and don't forget, there are items that you can get only via the cash shop or via time-limited events, so they're very rare unless you use the guild exchange to buy them, so use them sparingly. So make sure you have enough HP and MP to get back to the Harken, or alternatively use the hook. Now when you've done that, you will have the option to use the cursed wheel to go back in time, which you should do, and when you've done that, you have to retrieve the quest from the Adventurers Guild again, but this time, when you go inside the dungeon, go and interact with the first crystal you see. The best one is one right over here at the bottom. Now, then exit it and go back to the city and go to the Blacksmith. Now, at the Blacksmith, you will have a choice either to buy the pickaxe to destroy the shards with for 3,000 gold, or go inside the Goblin's Den. Now the Goblin's Den is on the 3rd floor of the Abyss, and now if you've been there before, you know that the Goblin's Den has quite a difficulty spike. It's very difficult, so unless you're level 40, it's much more better to go and just buy the pickaxe right away. If you want to do it yourself, then these are the locations of the black ore lumps you're supposed to get for the Blacksmith. I was able to do it at level 24-25, so if you're around that level, you might do it, but it is a bit time consuming, so if you're pressed for time to be actually able to complete the event, it might be much more faster to just buy the pickaxe right away. Now when you've done that, go back inside the dungeon and then use these locations on all of the maps to destroy the crystals. You need to collect 4 purifying shards. Now in several areas a new path will open, we can go forward, but usually those places only contain additional chests and enemies, so the best thing is to first finish the event, kill the boss, and when you've done that, go back and explore the areas with the leftover time you have. But for now, just collect the 4 shards and then head back to the 4th floor where you put them back into the candlesticks again, and when you've done that, the game will ask you to collect the 4 shards of crystal entities. You might have seen them around the dungeon, and the best place to get them is this spot on the 2nd floor. Now if you go outside of the dungeon and back in, it will respawn, so that's the fastest way to get it rather than going to all the other places where you can find it. Then head back to the 4th floor, activate the candlesticks again, and then once again proceed to the boss. This time, when you go to the same area where you fought the boss, when you talk to her, you will fight the actual Necromancer. Defeat him, then the path to the left will open, and you can use a teleporter to leave and go back to the town. Then go to the Adventurers Guild, hand in the request, and you're done. You finish the whole story and that's it. Now, with the remaining time you have, you can keep on farming shards to exchange for the items from the shop. Now, the way how the shards drop are either through finding chests in the dungeon, or the best and fastest way is to go and keep killing enemies because they can randomly drop chests. Now, this area is the best spot for farming shards. Always go to this teleporter here on the 3rd floor and then go to the north room up here. This way you will meet about 3 enemies on the way, and inside the room you will have 3 more enemies that are invisible. So all you have to do is either stand on the same spot or move around until the enemies run into you. But unless you have your Katarina with ambush prevention, it's much more better to just go and roam through the area until you hit the enemies, and when you've killed all 3, just head back, go outside of the dungeon and then re-enter it to make the enemies respawn. You can also head down to the 4th floor and just go to any of the rooms you want using the automap feature and fight the enemies on the way there and then head back. Now, the amount of shards you get from the enemies from the chests varies depending on which trial you've chosen for the whole dungeon. Now you can switch it anytime you want, and these are the tables that show you how many shards you get based on the difficulty you've chosen and on which floor you're on. Personally, I was using the shortcut on the 3rd floor to just go to the north room and back, and each run usually gets me about 75 shards per one chest, and I usually get about 2 to 4 or usually 3 chests per each run. And by run I just mean going inside, going out, and then going in again. So you can do several runs with one party depending on your strength. I was doing it at level 25 and I actually leveled to level 30 while doing this. I had a party with 3 melee attackers, and then in the back I had 2 mages. Now if you have Alice or Adam, you can use their secret art because it's very good, and at high levels it will completely wipe out the entire enemy party. And if you have a high level party, let's say level 40, you can even give lots of physical attackers on the team and then just keep attacking while using the auto mode, and you don't even have to play it manually. But if your party is lower level, let's say under 30, you will need to have to play it manually, otherwise you will easily get killed on the way by the various undead. Now this is it, this is the entire guide. Hopefully it helped you, and if you want to see more wizardry guides from me, follow and like and subscribe, as I will be putting out more guides for the beginners and various other tips and tricks. Thanks and have fun! And good luck farming the shards!